Hey guys, welcome back to the Prehistoric Life Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Crawford, and today we're diving in with another battle between great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather and great-great-great-great-great-great-grandson. So this is Allosaurus versus Acrocanthosaurus, which is down here. So the cool thing about this is that they are actually distantly related. They're both in the Allosauridae family tree. So this is going to be a very unique and that will actually put an edge to Acrocanthosaurus because they will have evolved to be better hunters than Allosaurus. But let's go ahead and dive right into this episode. So we're going to start off with an analysis of Acrocanthosaurus. Maybe. So let's go ahead and dive right into that. Acrocanthosaurus coming in at a height of, let me see if I can fix this real quick. A height of 4-ish meters, 3 at the hip, but I'll toss on 4 because I'll say it's 3 at the hip. So that's about 9.8 feet, about 10 feet. But if you want to count higher, it's about 13 feet upright. Coming in at a weight of 4.4 to 6.6 metric tons, and if you want that in freedom, that's 4.9 to 7.3 short tons. Having an insane bite force of 4,000 to 5,000 psi. So it is weaker than Acrocanthosaurus, but it's still an Allosaurid, so it's still most likely hunted like Allosaurus, where they don't bite, they kind of hack at you with their jaw. So Acrocanthosaurus will be a very unique. Oh, and it's coming in at a length of like 12 meters, which is about 40 feet, 12-ish meters. But length doesn't really do a lot in this. So Acrocanthosaurus has its very unique build. But now we're gonna look at Allosaurus. Coming at a height of 2-ish meters, at 2.5 meters at the hip. That's about 8 foot, but 3 meters solid at the upper estimates. That's about 9.8-ish feet. So the top of the Allosaurus's head will be right about where Acrocanthosaurus's hip will be. So Acrocanthosaurus is taller and longer because Allosaurus is 10 meters or 32 feet in length. Coming in at 2.3 to 2.7 metric tons, or 2.5 to 3 short tons. So Acrocanthosaurus does weigh more. And also has a bite force of 3,572.56 newtons, which is similar to a modern wolf. However, Allosaurus was about 10 times the size of an African lion. Allosaurus had weak jaw muscles and slender jaws. It was not built for crushing bones like other large theropod dinosaurs. So it's not a bone crusher, it's a skin grazer. And its hands, the claws of an Allosaurus, were built for hooking, not grabbing. So if that makes sense, they were meant to hook into prey and kind of stay a hold of prey, like large sauropods. It wasn't meant to grapple. It was meant to kind of hook onto you and then kind of just keep ripping flesh off of you. Now, the thing about Acrocanthosaurus, a variant of large dinosaurs, they both have very common prey of very large dinosaurs. Acrocanthosaurus hunts Hadrosaurus in large sauropods. Allosaurus hunted Stegosaurus, large sauropods. So they both have about the same amount of same amount of experience. Acrocanthosaurus is just farther down the line and a bit changed up. So in height, weight, and just sheer size, Acrocanthosaurus comes out on top. It is just a further evolution of Allosaurus. So Acrocanthosaurus, but let's go ahead and dive into these fight. But first, a word from our sponsors. So take it away.
Thanks, Podcast Eric. Now let's talk about today's sponsor, Dinosaur Trips. If you love looking at these amazing creatures that I show you, and even talking about these amazing creatures that I talk about, and you want to go see them in real life, I heavily suggest you look at Dinosaur Trips. Dinosaur Trips, created by Zach, gives you behind-the-scenes in-look at museums, and he even takes people out to digs. So if you sound interested in that, go to www.dinosaurtrips.com and tell them that Prehistoric Life sent you, and they will give you $250 off your tickets. And here's their Instagram if you're interested in giving them a follow.
All right, so let's dive right into this fight. A lone Allosaurus, actually a lone Acrocanthosaurus, wanders across an open plains. Across the plains, it sees an Allosaurus stalking. The Allosaurus locks eyes with the Acrocanthosaurus as they both roar at each other, slowly approaching. The Acrocanthosaurus estranged by the Allosaurus. The Allosaurus estranged by the Acrocanthosaurus. Thinking it is another large predator. They both charge at each other. Acrocanthosaurus, being larger, is a little bit slower, having more weight to move around. The Allosaurus is able to quickly maneuver its way to the side of Acrocanthosaurus. Acrocanthosaurus takes his huge claws and slash the side of the face of the Allosaurus, but the Allosaurus is unfazed. It bites the arm of the Acrocanthosaurus, ripping the flesh off of the forearm. The Acrocanthosaurus is not having it as it quickly turns, using its hand to hook onto the Allosaurus' face and bite down on the neck. Allosaurus screams out in pain, not giving up, as it takes its claws and hooks it on the lower jaw, hooking its giant claws right into the jaw as it tries to pry open the jaws of the Acrocanthosaurus. Successfully prying open the jaws, it rips its neck from the Acrocanthosaurus' mouth as it takes a huge chomp out of the Acrocanthosaurus' back leg. The Acrocanthosaurus, weighing more, is able to just spin around and kick the Allosaurus over. The Allosaurus is barely recovering, getting up as it roars out to the Acrocanthosaurus. The Acrocanthosaurus is not having it. The Acrocanthosaurus roars back at the Allosaurus, unfazed by the intimidation factor. They both charge in at each other. Allosaurus, knowing full well that it's smaller and weaker now. Acrocanthosaurus is just towering over Allosaurus as it runs up. They both go to bite at each other's face, but Allosaurus is able to quickly jerk its head back as Acrocanthosaurus snaps, getting just a bit off the nose of the Allosaurus, as the Allosaurus quickly takes his jaw and hacks down on the forehead of the Acrocanthosaurus, biting down and trying to jerk the Acrocanthosaurus away, but the Acrocanthosaurus is able to jerk its neck back, ripping its face from the Allosaurus. The Acrocanthosaurus takes its hands and grabs the Allosaurus. Outweighing it, it just puts all of its body weight and pushes it over. The Allosaurus trying to get up. The Acrocanthosaurus walks over, stepping on the side of the Allosaurus, biting down on the neck, using that superior bite force, crunching the bones in the neck. The Allosaurus screams out for mercy, trying to get up, trying to fight. The Acrocanthosaurus pinning the Allosaurus down by standing on it. The Allosaurus is able to try and wiggle it free, loosening up some of the neck, some of the bite from the Acrocanthosaurus on its neck. Acrocanthosaurus is not having it as it slams Allosaurus into the ground, clamping down on its neck even more. The life slowly leaves from Allosaurus's eyes as blood flows into its throat, drowning in its own blood. Acrocanthosaurus starts to devour the Allosaurus. So, yeah, if you, I mean, this sucks for me. I am a huge Allosaurus fan, but bias is not valid against fact. Well, not fact. I don't know if an Allosaurus. Hey, for all I know, Allosaurus has some. Allosaurus could very well be pack hunters. Acrocanthosaurus could have very well been solitary. It all depends. I mean, they both are very well endowed fighting machines, but one-on-one, head-to-head, no ambush, no nothing. Acrocanthosaurus is larger, heavier, stronger, has a stronger bite force. It's the evolved form of an Allosaurus. So Acrocanthosaurus is moving on and coming out on top. If you want to see more content from me, go follow me on Instagram at Prehistoric Life Podcast. You can see additional reels and whatever else you see posts and see what's coming up. If you want to see my content a little bit earlier, go follow me on YouTube. That's Prehistoric Life Podcast. I have 119 videos up, apparently. Sure. But if you want to see my content 2-ish days earlier, go subscribe to me on YouTube. And if you want all of that in one place, go to my website, prehistoriclifepodcast.com. From there, you can get to my YouTube and my Instagram. Until next time, I am your host, Eric Crawford. Signing off. This has been Prehistoric Life Podcast. I will see you all next time. Remember, keep it prehistoric. Goodbye.